Today we're doing a comparison video. We're taking a blockbuster movie with a budget of 175 million United States dollars and we're comparing it to an animated film that looks like it was directed by the people who made the 3D pipe screensaver for Windows. One of them I would declare as an exceptional piece of orchestrated dialogue, humour and storytelling, where on the other hand, the other one is utter shit. Let's look at both our candidates and show what each of them has to offer. Suicide Squad, directed in 2016, is David Ayer's follow-up to Fury, which as an action war film I actually do highly rate. Anyways, Suicide Squad itself is a film about a dream team of supervillains collected from prisons all over, or just one of them, I can't work it out. It boasts a lot of highly desirable attributes. First, you've got the star-studded cast. You have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Margot Robbie, the guy from 30 Seconds on Mars, Cara Delevingne, and not to mention RoboCop. The second thing this film has going for it is the legendary role of the Joker. To have a portrayal of possibly the most famous, highly regarded, and most enjoyable supervillain in your movie is a massive selling point. The hype leading up to this film with the teaser trailers showing off Jared Leto's Joker swamped my Facebook for months. And thirdly, it's a superhero film, which is possibly the most popular and most produced movie genre of this time. So how come when it has all of these elements, how come when you stare them into this big pot of movie making, do you possibly get one of the biggest pieces of shit I have ever seen? Now, let's take a look at our second candidate. Hoodwinked is an animated film made in 2005. It's directed and written by a man named Corey Edwards, who other than writing a load of episodes for Veggie Tales, really hasn't done anything else. Hoodwinked is basically a mystery movie with a non-linear plot. There's a goody bandit in town stealing all the recipes to the inhabitants of the woods' various snacks and foods that they make. The case has came to a precipice when a group of various characters end up at Granny's house. Hoodwinked is by far one of the ugliest CGI movies to ever exist. Don't get me wrong, if that's something that bothers you, then Hoodwinked's not for you. But if you're interested in dialogue, storytelling and varied interesting characters, then it definitely is. Being ridiculously ugly is the only thing Suicide Squad and Hoodwinked have in common. However, the starts of these movies do exist with sort of the same concept. They use a sequence that introduces each character and you get a feeling for them and what they're about, but it's how each of them does it that sets the two apart. There's this scene at the start of Suicide Squad that is used to introduce Deadshot and Harley Quinn. I don't know why they did this. Straight after this one, they do another one that introduces them again. Is it to show that they are the main characters? I don't know. There's a lot of questions I want to ask the director of this film. Like, why did they cut this bag open with a knife if there's a big zip on it? And what was the point in this guy? Why the fuck didn't he show up again? So basically in Suicide Squad, the way how they introduce each of the characters is this woman with a folder that says top secret on it reads out loads of stuff about each of them, then text pops up telling you loads of stuff about them as well. Fuck me, it is bad, isn't it? There's this part where they introduce one guy and it says he has a fetish for pink unicorns, then later he stuffs a pink unicorn into his jacket pocket. That's the only time this is relevant, and I think it exists just to be random. As random as that is, and random humour can be good, don't get me wrong, I love Adventure Time. There really has to be a point or a joke to it for it to work. Anyways, this is how you get to know each of the characters, their powers, and why they're in jail, / why they can be exploited to do what the government wants them to do. Now, this took 20 minutes. The way Hoodwinked introduces characters does take up the majority of the film, so I will have to say I'm being a bit unfair to Suicide Squad. But I don't care. The film was unfair to me when it didn't bring this guy back into it after making him seem very important at the start. Like I stated before, Hoodwinked is a non-linear mystery movie. Nicky Flippers, the lead detective on the case, has to interrogate the characters who by circumstance ended up in Granny's house. He sits each of them down to tell their stories, and when one of them starts, it basically goes into an act of the movie which displays how that certain character got there. Now, through each story, there's a lot of crossovers between the characters and interactions, and each story shows the events in a different light. It's much akin to Pulp Fiction, but better. This way of telling the story and introducing each character slowly and thoroughly allows us to get to know and develop attachments to them. It's not patronising in the same sense as when Suicide Squad just expects me to like Will Smith because he has a daughter, or how it expects you to like Harley Quinn for literally any reason. Are we supposed to like her because she's Margot Robbie? Is that literally the reason we're supposed to like her? When it comes to the part when hoodwinked characters find out it's the rabbit who appears in each story that's the actual bad guy, there's this believable friendship between the characters, and you care enough about each of them to enjoy the story that's unfolding and hope that everything turns out alright for them. Suicide Squad, on the other hand, throws this friendship/family thing between the characters at the end, and I literally don't understand why. Other than that one scene in a bar where they all had an argument, I don't think you can just make a group of characters fight a load of people, especially when they're meant to be bad guys, and by the end of it, have them call each other family. It's ridiculous. We get to learn so much about each of the characters in Hoodwinked. We get to learn Red Riding Hood wants to explore out in the woods and wants Granny to stop worrying about her so much. We get to learn that Granny is into extreme sports and is pretty darn tootin' good at them as well. It's these small details that build a case for a character. I'm not going to enjoy your film if you gloss over the character introductions or make them so shallow, like Will Smith is a bad guy but not really because he loves his daughter, or the Lizard Man is actually a gangster. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. The Joker has literally the words damaged on his forehead. I don't know if they were going to explain his backstory more in a future movie, but Jesus Christ, you can't just write someone's character traits on their forehead. That is literally the worst thing I think I've ever seen in a movie. Imagine if in Finding Nemo they tattooed really protective on the head of Marvin. I've been styannn and I'm clocking off before Suicide Squad makes me break my keyboard.